Hello guys, welcome to the second lesson we training in Br-Solidworks. Simulation. In this lesson we say carried out analyses on this support in L. You can see there on the screen. The purpose of this analysis is to find out if this support there resists a 900,000 force so applied on top of it, and during this analysis we will deal with some concepts as you can see it, for example some loop controls, concentration of tension and some limit conditions also. Okay guys, let's take a look. We'll start imagining with what it would be the fixation of this L support. Let's put a little more on our daily life here, imagining that this L support is fixed to the ceiling. And at the other end of them is supported by a TV, and then this TV that will provide us with the load applied to the. In the case of the 900 liters, one thing we can know from inside the lesson teddy bear only is that we don't need to model an egg ceiling from there a TV for this, because to simulate in this type of situation we only use U for fixation and also the loads applied. Our object beauty guys, let's go to SolidWorks, take a look at how it would work. Remedied, and these concepts also go PSOL in here. Only one Newark will access our part of the training. Okay, now we are going to talk about lesson 2 before you can observe there, and then I have case studies here. I have this other folder in here, and I will access our model here. Hi all, let me comment with something here with you. Remember in the last class, I had mentioned to you that it is always interesting to simplify in our parts our wishes, our products, so that we can save computational time and consequently reduce the time necessary for an analysis and taking it beauty. So here as you can see, Serval has a generated thread in the corner of this support beauty. This one he was intentional and will be raised. He will exist yesterday, but in this case in this lesson we will go treat them to analyze how the configuration would be the result obtained with fiat and without filled. Initially, let's start with this Felipe. So in this case the pen has a configuration created where Felipe is suppressed. Okay, then it's not taking into account this moment, and now we'll do an analysis on top of this piece, and then I'll do an analysis again on top of the piece with Geraldo's son, beauty. First of all I'll go again take a look at the ciliide settings. Well, come here, look, next to tools 1 part 1 simulated Sean, and there were options down here. Mine here within the simulation options, I go there in predetermined options for the units part, and I'll check again if it still has the international system. Many times you LL do some everything between training and other, or in your face it can end up interfering with IPS2. So if here the training, let's work with the international system, and in this case now in this lesson we will working with the system request pressure unit depression. Being only Pascal does not deny tax, so now we are going to work with Newton per square meter beauty. Again let's go to color diagram A and check if the unit of decimal places is with 6 units. That's done, but we can apply. Okay, here I'll give a control set here only with the isometric line in our model, and now we can start our machine, its configuration, and to start it leaves soon study. Here we're born performed static analysis again, and that's what I'll put the name of our analysis with mesh of the first mesh configuration, but we will have in the case with our piece without a stylus. Okay, that's done with the pizzeria of your material, but in this case as the material it was already added previously. Okay, then I already had it as the material defined, and I take it out of my mind. I don't need the dictionary again because it's already here. Look, its properties are already defined beauty. Remember that I commented to you that the software also works with pre-selection, so as I define material previously it already brought me a material analysis beauty if I wanted to change the material. For analysis, if my model has a type of material, I want to test an analysis with another type of material without any problem, just right click here or up there. Also good or up here, you can apply another material, and the cool thing is that this exclusive material has been analyzed, but it won't change a material that your piece is defined here. Okay. Hi, and in this case, continuing in the hand here, you can fix it to come again, but I would fix it, which is the support. How it will be treated, it will be fixed on the ceiling of our residence. For example today I came here, and then select the easy to be done. I made this face up here, done that. Okay, hi, and then we have the external loads part. Let's go right click Again, and give it a boost here. It did the force on which the TV will exercise one of this support to. Beauty, in this case I have the face here, and this force applied here is the connection point on the supported TV. What is the value of my force? 900 Newton high, and then if this force is no longer a traction force of a compression force, a shear force, that's why I can't leave the sense of the force alone. In this other sense, a good traction force because our downward force. So it comes as soon as these foods, so we have to use the relationship to that. Selected direction, well, what is the reference? Ours is the upper plane, so come here. Whenever I learn a selected direction, it will be a plane, for example, as a reference direction. And then I'll select the superior plane, I'll come here. Look, this force I want to apply will be what will be normal, it's my plane good superior, so he goes I be located in this phase, but it will be normal in the upper one, that's why I selected this box below, good. And if I wanted, for example, another type along the plane, then it will be as good if I want along the plateau the direction there, in case it's normal like this without any problem because of these. When working with the force here, normal higher, I'll put it here again is 900 Newton, and then how do I know the force is down? Right, because the movement on TV will be performed down, so come here and reverse the direction. Done that, just okay, I have my strength already defined. And I can go to the next step, which is the creation of Marley Beauty, and now we are going to create the brand one. To create Maya again, I go there in the parameters of the mesh based on curvature. I'll leave the value he gave us there, which is 4.81 millimeters of maximum element, its very maximum size. And also its very bad beauty mesh quality. Check if it's with all the quality. Remembers that I talked to you in the last class, always interesting, if we use the types of analysis with the type of mesh with a high quality, because then I'll have more numbers of nodes, and then I'll allow the sufferer to perform a much more complex deformation of each element beauty on account of our intermediaries that I have. You don't come here, okay? The messenger in the mesh here for me to love me is generated now. To commercialize complete, I have already defined all the math element and I've already done the described action of it, but I can't do it the study. I am still going to show you a technique for you, which is how I can make him carry out several studies at the same time. Okay, for that, I'm going to copy this study that I've already been here, so come here in mesh 1 down here, people tail. Here we have our first study. Right click and copy study 1 there. In the case here, I'll put the study name as Maria 2 scene. Well, so I'm still working inside the DSDS, the same P. Go here, I'll check to see which configuration it will be used. In the case to use no fillet AA foundation without front, the same configuration, and here to continue using static analysis. Alright, I'll give an OK with the tide created by the thing. I want to show you is that in regions we have a big rooms. In saving no will suffer a large accumulation of tension, such as this corner here. Support attention will focus much that this part of the point is common, but refine the Mesh accomplish a control of it only in that place to do what we do to leave a finer mesh. In that region, the case consequently of a more accurate key analysis in that region and in the rest of our component in the region, our part or assembly, and I have a standard mesh that I had previously created. For example, that's what I will need, great precision at that point. There will be more voltage buildup, and even then I will have a long time to re-perform this type of analysis. How do I do this, folks? It's very simple. I'm going to come here to the mesh part here on the left side of us, right clicking it there. Today, I came here apply mesh control beauty. I knew how to apply mesh control. I need to select a region to apply this control. To define which is the region for the I want to perform the most precise control, because I will select this task here. For example, I could select other types of entities and such as black. If it even does this assembly components, I can't perform this control. May beauty, and in this case I'll keep the value of 2.4 here is the element size and the ratio of 1.4 even beauty. If you can see here now the food size is fixed and it doesn't change. There, don't try maximum minimum shirt, I only have its size myself. And also, how could you see the value of this element size here? Look, it's practically half the value of the original size of the numbers. It's just a mesh with this one. Okay, well, I asked him to create mesh here again to see, but its curvature their docket will generate love is for me, and with my control, how can you observe here the region? The elements in this region here are much simpler, beauty are much calmer. Look here, this control, these indications here, which are the control points, I can hide or show this one, not even easily, just give a bunch right here on top of the mesh. Listen to all the control symbols. I came here, they take there, I just keep my mesh that with the accessory strengths of attachments, beauty guys, and this one we use with comparison. We can pay attention to the difference between this mesh control here and when I have an African mesh. Check the elements on it here, also much smaller than our mesh one we had created previously. I came here to show it, and I can see here that your mother made it respond bigger, so when you apply the control I have a lot more is precision in that region. Beauty. The beauty is here. I'm going to do the following. I'm going to copy this study again, rotate the third case of mesh refinement of may control good. I came here to fitnesssters as it has the holiday control in it. I'm going to copy mesh study 2 here. I came here, and then I'll put the name as the beauty mesh there again. It will be the fillet. Okay, static analysis not okay. MC, if I just need to edit the control that I control of the mesh in this region, it's because I had created it previously, and then the value that I'm going to define here is 0.508 less beauty in terms of the baby size, because now Nosamari will be much more in tune with that one. I'm going to ask again for Spirit to create mesh here, generate the mesh parameters of the mesh quality of Amalia based on curvature quality of Maria Alta Beleza. I'll give an OK, and it will generate more here. For us is how you could see the region at this point here. The elements are much finer, good, and in this case, I now have 3 types of situations. Remember that I had commented to you that I could run all the studies automatically. Okay, in this case I have 3 studies here. One is a stitcher in mesh 3, just come here and up people to carry out this study. I'm going to stay on this arrow down here. Okay, someone here to run all the studies. And it will rotate for me here the studies are executed. And down here and it also appears, okay, carrying the cost of completed, and I already have it here all the results of the von Mises stress displacement information. We are going to do the following. We are going to compare the results, the pour here the tension graph of volumes 1, that's right. And compare results and take the graphs detention of all 3 results we obtained, all the shoes calculations we have here, fine not okay good. And how could you see the tension in each? And this in each in the type of analysis of the band C people here in the case analysis 3D a high plus 8 every moment. That the more I define the analysis the more a soda in my suitcase means the more accurate it will give a result. So in points I didn't have precision to calculate how much it would give. Sometimes I get the value, but this value is much higher because I don't have enough precision to get to this W beauty. And the other thing we can do here to improve a little then simplification in this fleet here in relation to this refined mesh is the following. I will here get out of the puting. Okay, here I came here, Look at the volume tension graph, and I'm going to edit the definition. Look here, identity of the prober post definition. I came here in settings. I have this option here, L options imitate. So what will be my limit for my post in case it's getting the model? If I just want it defined as a mesh, okay, so I want my limit to be my mesh, just give an OK, and then people it shows for us, the mesh is also on top of the attention, beauty, on top of the tension graph. Here I can display my mesh. I can analyze here how the mesh is indentation in relation to this type of deformation here to be suffering beauty. I'll do this for everyone. The other analyzes here are the ones that already generated for us. I came here attention from Gomez. He later defined in configurations in live model, put the mesh here, gives an OK, asking me 13,000 again. He will display here. It's kind of possible to see that as I go refining my Mario tension point so much that it reaches, it is always approaching, it leans to this center here. Well, then it understands the exact edge we had. If I go back here in the mesh 1 display, here is the maximum point. The tension is that this region is red here. It's higher workers, it's already a little lower. Oh, okay, I'm going to do the same thing here at Maria Trace here, but it's 3 afternoon. Right button setting there in settings, and then the options limit. I want to display my suitcase here and yesterday. And then again, look how it was much higher here, and now the points of maximum tension are realizing that they are much more isolated. Okay, because I have a graph of higher maximum tension, so now the colors, they are very divergent. There isn't that red spot, all small points of maximum tension. Beauty. One thing we can also analyze here from this graph is the following and if I came here in my tension graph to plant, since that we obtained it is possible to observe that our yield limit is not even appearing here in this post. Why? Because if the part is much below the yield limit in our equipment, It is 2.06 high plus 8, and the result we get here is only 1.6, so there's still a lot of freedom. I could have put a TV maybe a little heavier there. For this support that it can withstand no problem any beauty, good for us to give offices one. To take a look at the displacement from our support beauty, then come here, it's easier to compare. The results ask for the comparison of the dead displacement graphs carried displacement. Hi, and then I have your mesh 1, mesh 2 and Maria 3 beauty, as you can see here in the values. We obtained as we increase the value of the tension. When I speak we refine it. Means our mesh a displacement it will increase, but this displacement some increase. In displacement is relevant because as or if they conform to increase even more mine has. My recourse end of my Maria in that determined. The displacement he will understand. So converge they will converge with each other, so they will leave one and with the result. That's why independence of your inform Maya and actress mesh that is more refined to analyze. Displacement in my play the result it's going to be the same. Okay, I don't have so much need for precision, then they are irrelevant, and if there really is this difference between them beauty now clear different. One of the results of the displacement finger I have the states of tension as I had to show you. That then yes I have a big difference. For example I have here another mesh 2. And mesh 3 as you can see the variation in the results is fine Armani okay. So because of our attention here it will vary a lot as mentioned in my mesh. So we can see that the result of information excuse of applied tension are divergent results because they diverge from each other, so the more precise I want the result of deformation good morning excuse and tension training, then I need to teach my mesh more locally as we did here or in the case globally. So easy I wanted to refine Maya, let all elements leave very fine mesh. Like you for you it was not past that it's possible I could also get another result different attention here too. Beauty, so if I want more precision in attention then I need to remove my Maya because of a new displacement. I don't need that much in this refining, so I could use the mesh itself, one that has no refining, none, to obtain the result of the displacement beauty. Good people bento, now how would it be like if I had this corner, this reentrant acute because of no type of finishing? Let's take a look at what this situation would be like with the generated fillet beauty. Then I'll have a comparison here. The model changed the configuration here. A fillet now has a pin generated, and then I'm going to copy it to work out a people. So come here in the study of mesh 1, and I'm going to copy the study the beauty. In this case you have to define that I want the configuration and the good fillet. I'll put the 4G1 mesh here now. The static evils again given okay beauty, look, just ask it to generate the mesh here again. It's like it's just going to do the mesh here, and then I'll come here in Amalia mesh parameters based on curvature and leave this default value even as if it were exactly mesh 1 in case I needed to take yellow here again because I eat. There is one more resource here, so the mesh there suffered a little needing to update. The update fine, then let's go high okay, and it arrived at the mesh. And I'm going to run my analysis here, so I could right click run analyze. And the review run the AM analysis. Hi, and now, as you could see, I already have another value here. You can get it. This value would be between Maya 2, refined there for the local control, mesh control, and Maria 3E2, great, but one thing that we can observe. And here and in this region are mesh A. And here the results here from the boarding house, they are not a little symmetrical, they are very irregular okay. This is a problem of how we have not refined our mesh. I wanted to show you for more. Here the result of the fillet, they have been between 62 and 63 in the case that it is a workout already taught on that occasion I had in our reflection. Even with the front here it gave a very regular result. Here, good, that's it. We can use some techniques in the case of mesh control to try to improve this region here, good, but before that let's take a look in the analysis of our good displacement. In your afternoon's total displacement is here, and as you could see here in our maximum displacement value it was exactly same, very close. I don't have much difference between displacement with fillet and without the client, which is why, in relation to displacement, we can see that this fillet is irrelevant for you to see how much My piece will displace beauty, but if you were to realize that I have a relevance for us, we are talking about tension. Beauty, so I can see now how it would look now applying malaria control on top of the fillet. If you come here in mesh, right click, apply mesh control. When selecting my fillet here, the face of the fiat, I'll leave the element size value 0.762 here, and the reason here I'll put it with is a comma 2 of reason beauty. You could see that now Amarilla is very fine. This reason we have here people this rate in this case is the variation that it would have from the biggest scientist to the smallest beauty. Because the reason between them that I'll have here is just okay, and let's create Amalia again. Is a mesh based on curvature, no problem, keep the pattern here. And are creating the mesh for ours is how you could see the precision here. The refinement of the mesh in this region here that I have is okay, may or much more refined beauty. With this we will run the study here again, the link, right click, run. G1 my X is running, and as you could see now, let's just hide here. And change the definition here to remove, and leave only in the G1 model, and they're now rather in the region. Here I have a much more pronounced symmetry, has a much greater precision, has those a point of tension M in contention, they're not now, but is much more symmetrical attention because that refine that I used beauty. I'll just ask for him, I count here the control symbol, take away, and taking a look here now in our attention, but we can see that we get another type of von Mises voltage value here, and there with that, but we can conclude that this type of refining, he left our attention, our stress point much more symmetrical and uniform, so we can see that now this result is maximum stress accurate result beauty we always made. A stress point in coliform, and this doctor is an accurate result high, and then we can compare the data from this one with the other's attention, we have previously no problem there, and by results now I'm going to use this study, because all states in all configurations I want to buy the result of a configuration with the result of another configuration. Fine is in the case here I get the 3 tension graphs, it's okay here, look. G1 and I have the mesh here with a Maria 2 gymnast, but 3 and Maria 4 that we created. Good, as you can see the NV values between them A and compared to what I have as a value. Here in the Patria mesh, a fillet laid out Papa that he gave a tension point beautiful different from Maya Trace. Monty remembers how much more precise and more uniform, it's better for us, good, it's more, and it's our state, and it's more precise. The table that I'm going to leave the comparison here now and locate it here. Okay, more than the stress and deformation states allow us to have an idea of what will happen to our model, internally its structure. We have other types of results that we can get to analyze what you want to happen, and externally for that a peak, then a reaction force type plot by we do this a results, and here we have people defining a post to list resulting forces. Okay, what kind of force, for example, as you had commented reaction force, good, high, and then we came here to select, but this face here because it is fixed, don't you use it in update, and then it will appear here for us the resultant that we have there. It will add the mix component and do all the calculations here according to the force we are applying to it, and change them, get my resultant here. Fine, I can give an okay here where it goes back to the original good state, but I have other types of resulting forces as well. Here I have contact force, connector force in our case that we use the reaction force, which is how much it will react here in relation to this applied force. And in our case here in 95 this 14 minutes. Okay, I can ask to display the resulting forces here. Okay, I have this arrow applying here with us high and around with this force here 900 minutes too, but we can conclude that this sport feet to keep the whole structure and balance in relation to his support with our TV beauty, then it will these will keep the balance there. Will not having any kind of setback. I can give an okay here, and another situation that we can also analyze is this our support here, as if I have caught this I do all with the fixed point, but this support he had soldier connect soldier in the case just use these and I'll be fixed. Okay, so take a look at what it looks like, then I'll take this mesh for here as an example, so I'll right click copy studies. Let's now go to mesh 5. The static analysis is not okay, and I'm going to edit our fastening fixture, so come here. Right click edit definition, remove here, and the face with a joint I'm going to select. Only the edges, it's like I had it with this part here. I'm from beauty, I'm going to do okay. Hi, and then I'll ask you to run the result again. Hi, and then with our general analysis, and because of this kind of fiction here that we've posted. You could see that it doesn't increase. There were other tension points here on top of because. Now I do not have a uniform attention upon that face. I have small dots too. Whom these edges here they would be holding all my whole beauty structure. Then why is it that we can count here as we will modify the type of clamping with the type of applied force. I have a different result, so you just need to understand, and before putting the result to run, put the simulation to run. It is necessary you define exactly what you want to obtain as a result, okay, as with the implementation of the data correctly, you can obtain it is very close to the real okay. People, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to save here, loot the part 1 can close here, and then let's go back there. Our light, I want to comment one more thing with you. Good to finish, it's better a little bit. That would be boundary conditions. Good boundary conditions are necessary for Sarah, a model in space. For example, in real life all the pieces are connected to each other, and after the end, a structure or the floor, for example with E. In case we can visualize this assembly here for example fast, where I have our support we work later, I have a connection point on it, and then because a bar crossed this connection points, and according to this model it goes legally increasing the amount of elements that I'm entitled to it, greater will be a necessary number of time needed for simulation. So I'll require more of my machine for this one. Requires more capacity of 3, I'll also require a longer time an extension doesn't have. A duration of the analysis. Okay, that's why we exist. There are limit conditions because then I can define simplifications for my model with, for example, if I fix it, if I leave my model like this, the bar and apply fixings here internal, maybe it would be easier, or the same thing we did before as it is working only with the model in lathe and leave it fully fixed on the top face like this. We saw that as we simplify, but we gain a lot of computational time. Well, this decision, what do you want from which model type of a model to use? If I want, I will leave the model in a hurry. I want to simplify only to work with maximum assembly. I just want, yes, leave only the analysis on top of this piece. It will depend on what you want as a result. Beauty, then everything will be broken. The first I need to define I want it as a result. Okay, so for me to get to this point of result I need this and that, and I said big then that there are these 3 components for me to reach this state, and that it is currently from a single component to reach this result. Our case, I would like to know if this support would resist the force of a TV applied to it. Then it only took the support for resisting. Okay, if we wanted, for example, to know what is the breaking point of the solder in relation and in the connection of these 2 components, in their pizzeria case too, so there are several cases that will depend on the type of result you want. Okay guys, in the previous case, in relation to the result we could adopt more precisely, I would say it would be mesh for uniform O, and I don't have that new generation of stress points up here. Also with the simulation, it's with the addition cells of the welded model itself, so we can to see that he would be the most accurate. Beauty people, that was Lesson 2 our EAD assembly training. Hope you enjoyed it. For you that with the exercises, are there any doubt? We're there to help. See you next time. See you later.